Since the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, launched the Race to $200 billion foreign exchange repatriation program in collaboration with the Bankers Committee in February 2022, the policy, tagged the RT200 FX program, has made bold efforts to tackle the challenges of foreign exchange flows to the country through boosting non-oil sector capacity to attract foreign exchange flows. The RT200 FX program, which is anchored on 5 pillars, namely Value-Adding Exports Facility, Non-Oil Commodities Expansion Facility, Non-Oil FX Rebate Scheme, Dedicated Export Terminal Financing, and Biannual Non-Oil Export Summit, is a set of policies, plans and programs for non-oil exports aimed at helping Nigeria attain the goal of $200 billion in FX repatriation exclusively from non-oil exports over a period of 3 to 5 years. 15 months after its launch and based on available data, the program has recorded various levels of success that are pointers to the fact that we can boost the productivity and earning capacity of the Nigerian economy, thereby preserving the long-term value of our currency as well as the stability of our exchange rate.
I think the rebate scheme has been successful. The intent was to encourage exporters who want to bring their earnings, their foreign currency earnings into the country and also sell it into the market, thereby making more foreign currency available. The rebate was the incentive that they would earn a bit more if they came into the market than if they just kept it for themselves. It helped to bridge the notion that there was a significant gap between what they called the official and the unofficial rate. And I think it's been successful because from the numbers that I see, we've grown significantly in terms of the amounts that have been made available. So while repatriation has gone up a bit, the sale into the market has been very, very significant.
At the maiden and second non-oil export summits held in Lagos in June and November 2022, respectively, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, underscored the commitment of the CBN and its partners in making the policy a considerable success.
This scheme was designed to incentivize exporters in the non-oil export sector to repatriate and sell their export proceeds in the local foreign exchange market and earn a rebate to boost their income. I'm happy to inform you that we have recorded a significant increase in non-oil export repatriation and have paid eligible exporters rebates. The signals and initial reactions that I received from our people in trade and from the banks have shown that a lot more people who are engaged in exports, people who have found it difficult exporting and then repatriating their funds, have embraced this program, and we're happy that we are making very, very good progress.
True to Emefiele's words, the bank, in line with its mandate, is allocating funds across the export value chain, including processing and agricultural fields for primary productions. Between November 2022 and March 2023, the bank has disbursed an additional 96.2 billion naira under non-oil export financing, bringing the total disbursement to 243.93 billion naira. Through the R200 initiative, the non-oil export sector in 2022 recorded a significant growth of $5.599 billion compared to $3.19 billion in 2021, with a growth rate of 71.51%. Over $1.74 billion has also been repatriated within the past 3 months in the non-oil sector in 2023. Under the non-oil FX rebate scheme, an incentive to encourage exporters, mostly on value addition, the bank paid out 136.58 billion naira to exporters in 2022, with 25.04 billion naira paid out in the first quarter of 2023. Over $1.36 billion has also been repatriated within the past 3 months in the non-oil sector in 2023. Under the non-oil FX rebate scheme, an incentive to encourage exporters mostly on value addition, the bank has paid out 78.35 billion naira to exporters between June 2022 and April 2023.
In terms of progress, obviously we had objectives in mind when the program was set up. And so when you look at total exports, for example, in Nigeria, for 2021, which was a year where we were recovering from COVID, where most countries experienced fall in exports. In 2021, Nigeria's exports rose by about 27.1%. But in 2022, obviously given the RT200 program, we saw an increase of 39.5% in total exports. And now within this bucket of total exports, non-oil exports itself grew almost 40%. The real number is 39.7%. And within this non-oil exports growth, for the first time in a long time, manufactured goods grew by 36.6%, but agri products grew by 30.1%. So we think that the program itself was part of the boost to all this growth that I had mentioned. And obviously you know that for us, our own sort of interest in this growth of exports is whether or not people repatriate the FX and bring it in. And we saw quite amazing numbers within the repatriation.
The CBN and the Bankers Committee have also financed several projects in the Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is domiciled within the Lekki Free Trade Zone. This is to further create an enabling environment for business and commercial activities to thrive, mainly for the export of Nigerian products, thereby promoting sustainable economic growth for the country. The duo have equally committed funds to the renovation of the National Arts Theatre in Igomu, Lagos, and this will be inaugurated in 2023 to promote service export in Nigeria. Over 16 non-oil export-oriented companies on value addition on export commodities products have embraced value-added export from raw commodities in the last year. In addition, beneficiaries of the RT200 FX program are unanimous in their assessment about the positive impact of the initiative.
By taking on the interventional fund, by setting up the plant, and by increasing the export base, we've seen a significant increase in our revenue. Our revenue has gone up by at least 300 to 400%. We've also seen a significant increase in the actual profit being made, both in terms of direct profit from trading of the metals and the recent intervention by the CBN through the RT200 program, providing the 65 naira per dollar rebate scheme, has also led to a situation where it's giving us incentives to make additional investments in our industry to expand our production capacity, and it's also giving us the financial muscle.
RT200 is very simple, it's pure mathematical. I'm not going to be qualitative. When you are able to access funds at cheap rate, you can export at competitive price to, let's say, Ghana. And by using also the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme where they don't pay duty there, so low financial cost, bringing your dollar and having also scheme of additional naira from central bank help us to compete with international companies that dominated before the ECOWAS country. Mainly I mentioned Ghana, Ivory Coast, Cotonou, and Cameroon. So adding the element of low financial cost, adding the issue that your export is coming back to the IE window and sold with an incentive from central bank. This helped us to compete with companies. You know that you have a lot of big companies in Finland and Sweden that sometimes invade the African market. Today, if you add all these parameters, we are competitive in West Africa.
After assessing this rebate of 11.5 billion naira in the fourth quarter of 2022, we were able to be emboldened to begin a very aggressive export policy of our urea to Southern American countries, especially Brazil and several other countries in sub-Saharan Africa.
We knew we could do more, but because of funding and the rate at which we were assessing this funding, we couldn't really do more. But since we got the intervention funds, we have increased from 20, 25 containers to 50, 60, 80, 100, and we are still counting. We are actually targeting about 1,000 containers, of course, not just exporting the raw commodities as it is. We also have serious plan, aside what we are doing now in terms of value addition, to add more value and more value until we are able to take out only value added products to other countries because they are more profitable to us as an organization.
With altitude FS rebate, just last week Friday we are distributing chemicals, approved chemicals to our farmers so that we have good quality cocoa beans. In fact, we are budgeting about 100 million of our altitude for that purpose, out of which we have been in Ile-Ife, we have been in Idere. Today, we are presently in Ondo.
The third edition of the Export Summit, today, May 9, 2023, provides another opportunity for all the non-oil sector stakeholders to compare notes and share ideas for enhancing and improving the sector. The goal remains to make export contribute 50% of Nigeria's foreign reserve earnings in the next 4 years. And the strategy of the CBN is that of a shared agenda with all its stakeholders, namely government, citizens, businesses, diaspora, investors, and operators, to create at least 1 million additional jobs annually due to increased productive export-related activities in Nigeria. Indeed, with all hands on deck, we can be assured of a greater tomorrow where the nation's economy is truly diversified away from its heavy dependence on crude oil into a flourishing multi-product economy driven by export from agribusiness, solid mineral, manufacturing, and services.